Welcome, welcome, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Spiritual Matters here at the Daily Huddle. I'm your host, Dr. Monikah Ogando, and I am so excited to be with you today. We are talking about creating New Year rituals according to nature. Most people talk about New Year stuff around the end of December as January approaches. But when we are in the dead of winter, it is not the time to start things. So I have a quote for you from the English poet John Donne. I was joking with Lizette earlier because I was reading a little biography of John Donne, and it says, John was an English poet, scholar, soldier, and secretary born into a recusant family. I had to look up recusant, and it means somebody who refuses to submit to authority without reason or to comply with regulations. Oh, that sounds like my kind of guy. The quote is, "No spring nor summer beauty has such grace as I have seen in one autumnal face." I think that's beautiful. Life starts all over when it gets crisp in the fall. John Donne. So let's talk about creating New Year rituals now with the fall equinox. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. Welcome once again to the Daily Huddle. I'm your host, Dr. Monikah Ogando. Today we're talking about creating New Year rituals along with the fall equinox, which is happening tomorrow. It typically happens somewhere between the 20th, 21st, or 22nd of September, depending on time lapse and distance from the sun. But I'm not going to bore you with nerdy stuff. We're going to talk about New Year rituals. Lord have mercy, I don't want Robin's head to explode. So I want to talk about how to create New Year rituals and why would you create New Year rituals in this time as opposed to waiting until January. So before we do that, let's get ourselves centered and grounded in the conversation. Tara, how the heck are you, my friend? And where are you being grateful from? Where are you? How are you and where are you?
Thank you for asking. How am I? I am the way I say I am. And today I am very focused. So that's where I am today. Super focused.
Okay,
and
focus.
Where am I? I am nowhere else but right here with you, my sweet sister.
Oh, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And Robin, what are you thankful for? And who are you hugging today?
I'm thankful for the fact that I still have breath in my lungs and time on this earth. I'm very grateful for that, and the fact that I can do that, and every cell in my body gets full of oxygen and takes away all the pollution and blows it out. I'm very thankful for that. And hugging. I started with my dog and my wife and my kids, and now all you guys. So hug. Consider yourself hugging. And Lizette with the red hair, very huggable.
I love the order of appearance in the cast of characters.
Dog, wife.
Right, that was beautiful. Oh, I don't know why that tickled me so. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I so appreciate you. Let's talk about New Year rituals. Now, will you allow me a nerdy moment? Will you allow me a nerdy moment? So, we get spiritual here, but let's get scientific too. Science, I always say, is spirituality's younger sister with a shorter memory, because sometimes science feels like it discovered something and spirituality is looking at her like, ma'am, we've been on that. And so one of the things that has gone against nature in a way in our culture, is this idea of, oh, you know, the new year, new you type deal when December is closing up and January rolls around. But if you notice, with if you're in the northern hemisphere, the fall equinox is right around the corner. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the spring equinox for you. But when it's the fall equinox, what the word equinox means is that the sun is equidistant from the north and the south pole. When we're talking about the winter solstice or the summer solstice, it's when it's at its peak, at its highest, or at its lowest, right? So the winter solstice, the sun is at its furthest distance from the earth. And that's why we get the shortest light day of the year. And when it is summer, it is at its closest to the earth, which is why we get the longest day of the year. So if you look at nature at the fall equinox, we start to see somewhere around there, right? It's not like an exact day and time, but somewhere around the fall equinox, you start to see the leaves fall from the trees. The weather gets a little bit cooler, and you start bringing out those cute little boots and cute little jackets and scarves and sweaters and so forth. And if you notice, when the leaves start changing colors and falling, which is where we get the word fall, season from, they go from green, which is at its height, the green color of the leaves, and then they start changing to orange and yellow and a dark shade of red. Have you noticed that green is the fourth chakra color, and yellow, orange, and red are the chakra colors for the third, second, and first? So it's like this falling down that goes back to the earth, as it were, the earth being represented by the root chakra. And so it goes from its height, which is the green, all the way down to deep red, and eventually dissipates into the nothingness whence it came, only to be born again 6 months later in the spring equinox, when we start seeing more blooms and more leaves coming out. So at the fall equinox, we have finished, if we were living in an agricultural, nature-based society, we have finished collecting the harvest of the previous summer. We've put things in mason jars, we've put stuff away to hunker down for the winter. The kind of like the braggadocious energy of the summer and the dog days of summer, August and so forth, those days are over. And now we are starting to collect ourselves. That corresponds very much with the season of planning, the planning phase of manifestation. If you were here for the manifestation series, then you know that the planning phase is the first phase of manifestation. You first have to get clear on what are we doing? What is the objective? We have to get clear on what we're planning to do. What's the result that we're looking for? And that happens when we come into the fall equinox. If you were to divide the year, not the Gregorian calendar with the 5 additional years that represent each of the Roman emperors, but that's another sermon. That's another sermon for another Sunday. Excuse me. Don't talk about the emperors. So if you were to take the year as a circle, it's 360 degrees. Oh, thank you, Robin. Thank you so much. Without those 5 days that represent the Roman emperors, it would be 360 days, right? Dividing them equally, that would be 45 days per phase for each one of those 8 phases. So the planning phase would go from the fall equinox to round about November 4th. And then the planting phase, which is where you are really planting that objective, those goals of the year into your subconscious, into your emotional body, represented by the water element. That goes from November 5th to December 20th, which it culminates in the winter solstice. Are you tracking? So that's the 90 days, right? From the fall equinox to the winter solstice, 90 days divided into two phases. So I want you to think to September 2024, 12 months from now. And if I were a homework giving coach, I would say to you, set a timer for like 15, 20 minutes, allow yourself to dream, and write down in your journal everything you can think of that you want to be able to brag about come September 2024. Maybe you want to brag that you've lost that weight finally, or that you broke through a certain revenue ceiling in your business, or that you finally traveled to that dream destination. Some of y'all have been saying that you want to come to Egypt with me in September. So this will be the time to write it down and make it happen. Or maybe you want to write that book and publish it and have it be a bestseller. And maybe you want to start your brand and create some content and be recognized as an industry expert in your particular niche. Whatever those things are, write those things down. We'll spend some time, like pick one. Just pick one so we can talk about it today between now and the end of our episode. Because what you want to do while you are dreaming of those objectives that you want to be able to celebrate 12 months from now is that you'll notice in the whole flow of manifestation, I want you to go back to those episodes. In the whole flow of manifestation, there's going to be stuff that comes up that presents as an obstacle to it. Like a yeah, but I know you want to lose that weight, but you don't have the time. Yeah, but the gym is far away. Yeah, but you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, but there's so many, workouts on YouTube. Just pick one. But I don't know which one is right for me. And I don't have the discipline. And, I have to feed the kids and then I end up eating what they're eating. And that's no good for my eating plan or whatever the case may be, right? Tara's like, woo, if you can't say amen, say ouch. So what happens when you get clear about what you want to accomplish is that what is unlike that which you desire also shows up. But the contrast, hear me well. If you walk away with anything today, I want you to walk away with this. The contrast is not a punishment. It's not a test. God is not quizzing you. The contrast is a teaching tool. It is a teaching tool. It is not a glitch in the matrix. This is not unnecessary pain and suffering. This comes with clarity. Contrast comes with clarity. I mean, look at just the lighting. I'm in a hotel right now, but look at the clarity. When that light comes through, I get kind of fuzzy. And it's only when I come close to the camera, it's like, oh, there's Monikah. Oh, I love it. I love it, Robin. I saw that. So in the same way, when you get clear about what you want to create in the next 12 months, everything that's unlike that could derail you will. And what I want you to do is use it as a teaching tool to get even clearer, to sharpen your focus on what you do want so that you can be honorable about saying no to that which is unlike what you do want. Your no can be dignified, it can be clear, it can be firm because you've gotten really clear about what you do want, right? And so what are some of the rituals that you could create for yourself as you create this new year now in the fall equinox? So I just gave you one in terms of writing down some of the goals that you want to create over the next 12 months. And then, of course, identifying what might get in the way of that and then planning accordingly. So if the conversation is, I don't have any time, okay, then let's create a date with a friend that may have similar goals and put that in the calendar. Because if you're anything like me, if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to get done and I'll probably forget about it. I don't use my brain for remembering. I use it for thinking. For remembering, we have tools and gadgets for that. So, so that's a second ritual. Another, and this we will revisit towards the end of the year as well, is maybe you've seen this in your church of choice or in your sacred tradition. In my tradition, we call it a burning bowl. And what it is that you write down all the things that you want to release. So we got clear on what you wanted to accomplish and what might get in the way. And so what those things are that get in the way, maybe it's your laziness, maybe it's procrastination, maybe it's imposter syndrome, maybe it's lack of time, maybe it's lack of motivation, or I don't have any support, or I don't have the money, or I don't have whatever the thing is, but to write those things down as though the words on the piece of paper is what that is, right? Like lack of time is that piece of paper, lack of time. And you put it inside of a fire resistant container. Very important. Don't put this everywhere. Don't you get your little wooden thing and then think this is gonna work. No, it has to be a fire resistant container. And then you light the thing on fire and you watch it burn. And as it burns in the trash can, or as it burns in, the ground, or whatever the case may be, then you are creating in yourself an image of those obstacles or those sabotaging conversations, those limiting beliefs also dissolving from your consciousness, from your mind, from your existence, so that they are no longer standing in the way. And we may not necessarily have the time, the space, the materials, even the emotional bandwidth to do that. But maybe you live with someone who poo-poos these kinds of rituals, etc., and you just don't want to do that. This is the power of imagination. This is the power of your mind, that you can actually close your eyes, even as you're riding the train up to work or whatever the case may be. You may be in a really public place. You can close your eyes and imagine that you're writing that stuff down, that you're putting it inside of an aluminum trash can, that you're lighting it on fire, that the smoke is going up, that it's dissolving and turning into ashes. And when it's all done and burnt to the singe, that you can take those ashes and throw them in the air to the nothingness whence it came. And you can feel yourself being free of all of those contrasting, limiting beliefs or emotions that may get in the way of whatever it is that you say that you want. And then when you open your eyes, you say to yourself, I am now living in my highest, best timeline, and I am unencumbered on my way to get what I want, or on my way to get my goal, or on my way to manifest my desire, or whatever the case may be. That don't take nothing but 30 seconds. You could do that. So I would love to hear from you. What are some New Year rituals that you're either participating in or that you would like to insert into your life so that you can equip yourself to be the best version of yourself over the next 12 months? I would love to hear it.
I'll chime in.
Yes.
Some of you were on here when you asked me how I was today, and I said the way I say I am is focused, and that is a forever challenge of mine. So a ritual that I have started and put away that I am going to stick to as an inspiration from this talk is putting my flipping phone away, because it is
Amen.
Not social media for me, but it's the children, the texts, the calls that are breaking into my creativity and my productivity. And I'm putting that baby in the drawer on scheduled times and telling the family tough shit.
Right. But did you die? Send them that emoji. But did you die?
Right.
I love it.
100%. That is a big piece of it. The phone and the kids, the adult children interrupting constantly. It's like,
yeah,
you are going to survive if you don't tell me this for the next 2 hours. I promise you that.
Yeah.
One of my sons is on the road now. He travels from 5 o'clock Monday morning until sometime late Thursday or early Friday. He comes home for the week. And he's used to seeing me every day. So 6:30, he knows I'm up. He blows my phone up, right? 2 o'clock in the afternoon when he gets done with the job, I'm like, you can't bother me anymore. I want to say thank you, because in this conversation, you made me realize a year ago, I did this. It was October of 2022. And I started writing my book and changing my persona to the Google Guru. And I have my list sitting right here written down of the things that I want to achieve. And I'm getting that list completed. But what it did is it allowed me to see that all of my procrastination and laziness and the things up here that I was thinking I wasn't doing, I've actually done. So it's my own self-sabotaging thoughts that are making me internally feel like it's not happening. But when I look at reality, it's happened. So I'm starting on the next set of them today, so I can be saying the same thing next year. Say, I did the things I said I was going to do. I kicked out the limiting beliefs and the distractions, and I accomplished. So I'm gonna make it public. Okay. Went to the beach this year, end of August, and I tanned this year. I tanned really well. I looked really good. So I wore a Speedo at the beach. I wanted to get it all tan all over, and I didn't look horrible because I wasn't all this pasty white, guy from New Jersey or something at the beach. But I got a little belly and some love handles and nothing here. And I said to myself, I want the belly and the love handles to move to the chest.
Yes. So no more bird chest for you.
Today, right? So next year when I put that Speedo on, I won't go, hey, I'm tan enough. I'll go, damn it, I look freaking great in this thing. So
I love it.
It's going to be amazing. And I'm shooting for it with with the buffness that goes with how I feel.
Did you say 60?
I'll be 60 next year. Yeah.
Okay.
Way it goes, kid. Age marches on.
That's right. And that's a great reminder, Robin, because a lot of times people say I have done this until I repented, but it's just gonna take too much time. But guess what? The time's gonna pass regardless.
Time's gonna pass. Yes, that's my saying. It's gonna pass anyway.
It's gonna pass and you're gonna have it, or the year's gonna pass and you're not gonna have it. Pick it.
Book is almost done. I'm literally like 15 pages from being finished with the final edits. So
that's great.
It took a year, but it's exactly a year. October 1st will be a year I started working on it. So
hallelujah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for the conversation. Very good reminder.
Yeah, that's great. Who else has something to share? Declare it here, be public with it so we can hold you accountable and be in community with you for it.
Hey, I just had to jump in.
All right.
Only on Daily Huddle you hear nuggets like there's tool to remember. I mean, tool is for you got tool to remember, and your brain is for thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that's a beautiful line. That's just a beautiful line. I had to write this down. But I turned on exactly at a time that you were talking about the list. And, I created last time when we all got together in a group that I was going to be in Art Basel by, this year. I want to be in Art Basel. I want to brag about being in Art Basel. So
yes,
that's what there's a lot of yearbud coming on my way. And I looked at it last week and I, kind of put it down. And I did not think about the process of really writing the yearbud, but I still think it's possible, and really looking at it. So I just wanted to put this. I guess it's more of a comment, but your view of the breaking it down through the equinox and all this other system, it's incredible. I sometimes look at my horoscope and kind of really see what's coming up. Where my mind is, or where my system or is. I'm not doing a good, not to say I apply it or connect to it, but it's almost it's kind of a little playful activity to do, to see, are they going to be right today, or are they going to be wrong today, or is that the way I feel? Is the way I feel it's okay? But it's a good. Never really be able to really pinpoint the date as you were doing it earlier, but. So I'm going to look at September 24 next year to brag about that I'm in Art Basel.
Yes, I'm joining you with it. And Robin is clapping already. We're giving you a standing ovation.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say, because this is the Spiritual Matters Thursday, that, Ronald mentioned astrology, and astrology has been around since we've had human history. And I want to say this, that it is a weather report, not a prophecy. So it's a little bit like, here's the energies, and it's going to be this degree outside, and the rains are possible, and the blah, 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 right? And so it's like, okay, given that, let me put on my raincoat, let me put an umbrella in the car. It might or might not rain, but at least I'm prepared. So in that way, it's not saying you will go out. It's saying if you do, take your umbrella with you. Same thing with, like, if it's Mercury retrograde, just slow yourself down. Double check your stuff. Mercury retrograde tends to jack up communications and stuff like that. Okay, great. No sweat. I'm prepared. I just want to say that because sometimes people say, somebody said this and that and the third about Pisces, and that's not what's happening. Correct, because you still have free will, sir. You still have choices to make.
Yeah. It is a
So-
weather report, basically. You're right. You're right.
Yes. All right. Anybody else want to share what they're doing to create their new year rituals, or what goal they want to be celebrated for 12 months from today? I just want to tell you that I'm living in the body that I declared 12 months ago. This is the body that I declared 12 months ago. I would get up and show you, but I don't want to. I don't want to give Robin a heart attack or nothing,
Hey,
Curve Central. Well, Tara saw it when we did the live event in Atlanta. I was walking around my little cape, looking like a superhero.
Looking
Thank you,
fabulous,
everybody.
no doubt.
Everybody for being here. I appreciate you so much for spending time with us every morning here at the Daily Huddle, and particularly on Thursdays with me. I just love our community. I love, the pressure cooker that we have for each other, not in a bad way, but in the way of, like, you can't help but rise. You can't help but elevate your thinking, your mind, your habits. And of course, a rising tide raises all boats. So remember to love yourself, to love others, laugh loudly, generously, obnoxiously, give of your time, energy, and attention. Eat more plant-based foods, stress less, exercise more. Remember that twerking is a Kundalini raising activity. It is not obnoxious. And Robin's laughing at me again. And of course, audit your assumptions. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Love you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
One love, Doctor. One love, guys.
One love.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
thank you.
Great job, thank you.
Great job, Monica.
Thanks,
Awesome day.
Robin.
Thank you.